Let's talk about enough, as in feeling enough, having enough, being enough. In a time when most people are talking about goals and massive achievements and all these different things that they want to do, you may realize from your own life that if you've done a lot of that stuff, it never really feels the way that you want it to feel, which is feeling like you're enough, which is essentially a positively charged bundle of emotions. We can call it joy, we can call it happiness, we can call it peace, whatever you want to put in that bundle of feeling good. That's essentially what we want to have. In this video, we're going to talk about why it's so hard to feel like anything that you've done, no matter how much you've done, ever really feels like it's enough. How most people I've found are looking in the wrong place to try to find what enough feels like. And then I'll close it out with this little secret that I found. Well, I don't even know if it's a secret. It's something I stumbled upon that reverses all of that and helped me feel enough right now. So the first thing that we really have to talk about here is that even the most successful people that you know, and you probably categorize yourself as a successful person, or people categorize you as a successful person, but the people who are successful, they don't really feel that way. Which I know can sound weird when you look at somebody and their life looks like this idyllic version that you might see on a Christmas card, and it's like, how does that person feel like they're not successful? Well, what happens most often that I've seen and witnessed in the circles that I travel in and in the mirror when I look in that, is that when we set goals and then we achieve those goals, we wanted to have a feeling. It was never really about the goal itself. It wasn't the achievement. It was about trying to feel something different than we felt before we achieved the goal. Because we want to have this sense of accomplishment. And when we have this sense of accomplishment, we think we're entitled to feeling a certain way about it. But what's most interesting to me is that whenever we set out and achieve a goal, then we get to the goal and we realize, wait a second, that didn't exactly feel the way that I wanted it to feel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an even bigger goal. If I buy a Ferrari, then I'm going to turn it into go like, all right, the Ferrari was cool, but it's not a Lamborghini, so I need to get one of those. Or I live in this style of house, but you know what I really want? I really want a house that's a little bit bigger, on a little bit more property with a little bit better view, and that is going to make me feel exactly how I want to feel. Does this sound familiar? Like you set a goal, you achieve the goal, you start looking around going like, hey, this isn't everything that I thought it was going to be for me. Let's set an even bigger goal. Then maybe you achieve that one and you realize the exact same thing. We get in these loops and these patterns of thinking that, well, it's the next thing. It's the next level. Once I achieve the next level, then I will be happy. Then I will feel joy. Then I will feel like I've finally done enough with all this potential everybody's been talking to me about since I was a kid, and I can finally feel good. That's what I'm looking to do. Well, the crazy part is that we can get stuck in these loops for years. I got stuck in this loop for decades, all thinking that every time I laddered up, I would have this feeling that I was trying to achieve all the time. Now, what I've observed in other people and in myself was I was looking for this feeling in the wrong place. I was looking for this feeling from some desired future state. Because when I got to this desired future state, then I thought I would be like, all right, cool, this is enough. So I was looking for enough someplace in the future, and I was tying that feeling to achievement. And I see a lot of people do this. I'm not the only one that's done this, where I tie that feeling of enough to some achievement in the future, which means really just looking for validation. Validation either from the outside world that sees you having whatever it is that you have because you achieved a certain thing and go like, all right, that guy's got it figured out. But more often than not, really, people are looking for validation from their future self. It's like they're always competing with this phantom that lives in the future, that does everything perfectly and thinks like, yep, I got all of this dialed in. And they're like way further along the path than the actual person. That's the future phantom of that future self. And so people get caught up in this game of comparing their situation and their real life with this phantom future self, which, by the way, if you want to watch a video just about comparison to other people and to this future version of yourself, click the pop-out banner right there. I shot another video on that a while ago. But we get in these cycles and we get in these loops, and the question is, What do we do about it? How do we break the cycle? How do we get out of this loop of constantly thinking that, the next thing is gonna make me feel this positive bundle of emotions that I'm going to say is enough. I've finally done enough. Well, we already know a little bit. We've got clues about what the answer is to this. We know what the answer is not. The answer is not more, because you've already tried that. I've already tried that. And we know what the result of that is. You feel a little bit better for a little bit of time, but never really gets to this grand sense, this grand feeling that you were trying to have. We also know the answer isn't less, because nobody wants to feel like they're going backwards. Plus, you've already been at the stage where you're less than you have right now, and you weren't feeling like you were enough then. So where is the answer? As hard as it is to accept, is that the answer to feeling enough is right where you are right now, exactly as your life is right now. Meaning it's no better, it's no worse, it's exactly enough where you are right now. Now, I get it. Like the hardest work, this is the hardest thing that anybody can do in shifting their mindset, is to accept everything just as it is and accept themselves just as they are as enough. This is even harder when you're in the world that exists today, where we talk about hyperachievement. It seems like every other video is about productivity, or there's productivity apps, or maybe that's just the way I get targeted on my social media channels. But in any event, it is really hard work. So when I say, yeah, all you got to do is accept that what you are and where you are is exactly enough as is, I understand that I'm making a huge ask out of you. And by the way, this is not an argument against setting goals or having achievements in your future. I think you should set the biggest goals out there. And I think you should achieve as many of them as you possibly can. And I think you should make your life whatever you want your life to look like. What this is an argument for is acknowledging yourself for all the work that you've done on your own path to get to where you are in your life right now, wherever that is, and having gratitude for wherever that is. This is really the missing link. This is the thing that provides you with ultimate inner peace, ultimate freedom, ultimate paths forward. Because what I've found is, once I did the hard work of accepting that where I am and who I am right now is exactly enough for the present moment, I was able to get more abundance and more prosperity in my life, because everything flipped in what I was trying to do, from feeling frustrated that I wasn't going fast enough or it wasn't big enough, to just making the whole process fun. And it was almost like there was this magnetism from the universe that happened once I flipped the switch from frustration to fun, that turned everything on its head. So my encouragement for you is that you'll let go of attaching your feeling of enough to some achievement that you'll have in the future. And I encourage you to realize that all you need to do to feel like you're enough is accept that you and every circumstance in your life is enough just as it is. If you got something out of this video, good for you. I'm glad. That's why I shoot the videos. If you know somebody who needs to hear the message and get the revelation that you just got out of this video, my encouragement is that you will share it with them. That would mean the world to me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.